RSL Nation! Welcome back to the Bros.
Bros. Boing. What's up?
That was good. That was a good one.
Absolutely.
Obviously, for those that aren't watching us on YouTube, we just did a Dragon Ball Z Joseph Martinez and Almiron ding. Because I just thought about that today. Like those who are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, they're probably like,
The-
why the heck are they doing bing?
So, if those of you don't know who Dragon Ball Z or know that, then go to YouTube, watch Almiron and Joseph Martinez do that better than we do every time. So,
It's true. Um, but anyways, welcome everyone to another episode.
bienvenidos a todos aquí.
Oh, we are now bilingual. I think we've done that so many times. We've done that before. I can't say so many times. We've done that before, and I always say we're bilingual. Whatever. Anyways,
No.
Marcos,
The RSL Bros are English for right now.
for right now, when we want to do Spanish, we will speak Espanol.
True. It's very true.
Bro, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. So Friday up until today, had to go crash at the parents' house because they were redoing the flooring here at my house because we had some water damage happen here in the basement.
Oh,
So they had to rip out all the carpet, had to move my bed, everything to upstairs and in the garage. But everything is all good. We got new flooring put in today, so back to my house. Yeah, love the parents. Free food and all, but sleeping on an air mattress, it's not fun.
you should have just slept on your bed in the garage.
Yeah,
No, all right.
no. I'm too much of a princess when it comes to beds.
Actually, everyone, this is true. This guy, like his first religion is sleep. Second is soccer. So, his sleep is so precious to him.
Oh, absolutely. Like any light or sound, I can't sleep. It's bad.
And to think that me and you were roommates for like a long time,
It's true. It's true. So
man. I'm glad you're home then.
I am home. So how are you doing?
Hanging in there. I mean, I wish the weekend was longer. Nothing like having like a kind of a chill weekend and then having to work again on Monday. You're like,
Like why?
yeah. I'm stuck in the 9 to 5 grind right now. I need to find something to. If anyone has a good idea to get me out of this 9 to 5 grind, let a brother know. Cause
Drop it. Drop the suggestions down below.
drop this, drop them now because this
Drop the
guy.
suggestions.
I'm gonna go through an early midlife crisis here soon.
I was like, dude, you're only 33. Like,
Shoot, man, that's when you know. But we're
I was
good.
like, I'm aging quick too. Like, I have a birthday coming up. Frick.
Um, I aged real quick. You still have hair.
Yeah, I still have a whole luscious head of hair. That my friend.
That's a lie. Pull up your bangs. Pull up your
Nope,
bangs.
nope, nope,
Ah,
nope,
that's what I thought.
nope.
um,
So
so the
I see you're rocking PSG.
I'm rocking PSG. Yes.
I'm rocking Barca.
We only did this because Champions League starts Tuesday.
The
And,
champions.
oh, that's horrible. Um, and also this is the only jersey I have of any Champions League team, and I only have it because of Messi. So,
Yeah,
heck, when he was with Barca, I never got a. I mean, how many years have I had I been following Barca for like for as long as
20.
he was there, like
Yeah, about
16 years he was there.
yeah.
Um,
So
never got a jersey. You
yeah,
never gave me a jersey.
I guess I wasn't a great brother in that aspect.
No, horrible. Um,
Horrible, worst brother ever.
so don't think that I'm actually cheering for PSG. I really am not.
No,
I'm a City fan. So,
yeah.
um, which let's I want to talk about this real quick. We have Champions League coming up. The first day is tomorrow. Do you even know
Tomorrow.
who's playing?
I can tell you in like 2 seconds.
Well, I'm going to tell everyone in 2 seconds. So, um, tomorrow there's 8 games going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have Feyenoord against Celtic
Mm-hmm.
or Celtic, however you want to pronounce it. Lazio, Atletico Madrid, Milan, AC Milan, Newcastle, PSG, Dortmund, Young Boys, Leipzig, Man City. How do you pronounce that?
I
Krena
was really I was really waiting. I was waiting that the whole time for that pronunciation.
Krena Sveda. We're gonna say that. Um,
Nice.
and then Barca, Royal Antwerp, and then Shakhtar and Porto. All right, we're not gonna get too far into this, but which game are you looking forward to tomorrow?
So
I I know you're
besides City and Barca,
I know you're in class also during maybe during some of these, but which one would you be watching for?
the one that definitely has my eye and attention, I'm gonna have to go with that Milan Newcastle one.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
just because you got Christian Pulisic, American born, and then on Newcastle you got Almiron.
Interesting. Very good points. Okay. I'm actually looking at the other game in Group F, PSG Dortmund.
Oh yeah, because
That
you got the Mbappe who's literally holding that team together for PSG.
yeah, you have Mbappe that's holding the team together, and Dortmund that almost won the Bundesliga last year. So
Hmm.
that could be a good game too. Everyone else looks like it should be. Everyone that should win tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. So those two at 10:40. Well, I guess 10:45 and 1 o'clock. Those two have my eye that I'll be watching in.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's do this. We're gonna talk a little bit about some food because one, I'm hungry. Two,
Always.
apparently food took X by storm Friday into Saturday. Like
Yeah,
I have never seen so many people divided and so many people opinionated about one picture of food.
yeah. People have their opinions, and some were a little more heated than others.
Yeah, and let's just say there's a lot of horrible takes too. What are we talking about?
It's a pizza. We're talking a pizza.
Pizza, pizza. Um, we're talking about Messi's Pizza,
Yeah, because if you guys know a good Argentine pizza, which we do,
which we do. In fact, if we're gonna compare between the two of us, I know more pizza than you do from
he
Argentina.
he has lived there, so
I have. Um, but what I mean, describe the pizza to everyone that if you didn't see it, you obviously haven't been on X.
yeah,
Because
so
you've been probably living on Facebook because I didn't see it anywhere on Facebook.
no, so the pizza from this picture, it was very pale, first and foremost. It had no golden crust, which we're used to seeing in a normal Argentine pizza. And there was so many tomatoes. I think they almost ran out of tomatoes at the tomato farm.
It looked all right. So this pizza in Argentina is called La Napolitana, which would be a someone from Napoli in
From
Italy.
it. Yep.
And so Napolitana has a lot of tomatoes and then some onions and then the green olives. Okay. This one looked like it was just pure tomatoes. It was like there was more tomatoes than pizza.
Right?
But for me, it still looked good. Looked excellent.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
the comments that were going around on X, they they were like out of this world.
It's like you can't be judging a pizza. Like here in the US, we got New York style, we got Chicago, we got Detroit. It's like here we got so many different types. We got the thick, the thin crust. So
So
I
I
everybody's
mean,
got their opinion.
yeah, everyone has their opinion. I mean, I'm just gonna say this. That pizza did look one a little pale. That
Oh
crust
yeah.
looked it needed some more time in the oven. Two, that was an excessive amount of tomatoes. That's like
Yeah.
I think he might have asked for extra tomatoes.
Yeah, I think Messi needs to send that pizza back because it didn't have enough time in the sun to get its full tan on.
Seriously. But apparently, I can't remember who sent the I'm gonna call it the tweet. I can't remember who sent the tweet out, but apparently the day after there was a huge line around the block at that
Oh yeah,
pizzeria.
yeah, that's right. Business is probably booming for them. They are probably so grateful that Messi dropped that on his story.
Yeah. And so if you haven't seen on our personal X accounts, each one of us retweeted the video from CBS Golazo
Hmm.
about their explanation of pizza in Argentina and whatnot. So um check it out because it was actually kind of funny. I really enjoyed the video
Yeah, yeah, he definitely explains and educates people on Argentine pizza.
because Argentines are basically Italianos.
It's facts. It's facts. We eat so many carbs.
Oh yeah, we live off of carbs.
Yeah.
But anyways, we had to
What?
get
What?
that out there.
Yeah. Anything about Messi, we got to talk about it.
Even if it's just pizza.
Even if it's just pizza, because all because of pizza and because of turf, he didn't play Saturday, which I'm sad about.
Well, rumor has it that his participation in Wednesday's game is actually in question.
Yeah, yeah,
Only
because
only because they have 3 games in 8 days.
yeah, they do have the I mean not Champions League, the Open Cup final next week.
Yeah, so they play Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
Saturday.
that's a little brutal on Messi's legs.
And from the sounds of it, Miami is basically saying, you know what? We're not going to qualify for playoffs. That's basically what their attitude is. But we're going to get as many trophies this season as possible, which they've already gotten one. They are in the final for a second. So
Why not? Why not?
why not? I mean, why go to the playoffs and probably not win MLS Cup, but instead go to Open Cup final, play really well there, and win 2 cups this season?
Right? Right? I don't see anything wrong with that at all. So,
And especially since they've already qualified for CONCACAF Champions League too.
yeah, it's true.
I mean, good idea. Good job from them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
What do we got next on the lineup?
Yeah, so news just came out today that a player, I'm drawing a blank of his name, but I can pull it up in a second, from Montreal, he changed his name to go play in an indoor soccer league.
Now, why would someone? All right, well let's talk about that. Why would someone do that?
One, he's probably not getting enough playing time with the Montreal Impact, and two, maybe he wants to improve his skills.
I'm gonna stick with number one because actually number one is the real reason why he went to the amateur league.
Yeah.
He so while being contracted with as a Montreal player, not getting enough minutes. He's been sitting on the bench for a while. His name is Matko Milovic. And yeah, he wanted to get some playing time. Went to the amateur league. 3 games into his amateur league career,
Hmm.
he got himself a red card, and in fact, so bad was the red card that they suspended him from the amateur league.
What I want to know is how does nobody from this amateur indoor soccer league recognize his face? Because you're a professional soccer player, a- and you don't get noticed at all. That's
I'm
kind
just
of
I'm just saying. We just said it. We just said why. It's because he's been
yeah,
sitting on the bench. How many
yeah,
people recognize bench players? And first off, Montreal isn't. I'm assuming. This is me assuming. Montreal's team isn't really that popular in Montreal.
no, no.
And so with that, imagine trying to keep track of the bench players. So I'm just saying the guy went on a rampage. I think he had anger issues from not playing in on the first team.
So
And
now,
there
now he's suspended. I assume.
now his MLS, not Montreal the club. MLS terminated his contract as a player. He is now jobless.
Yeah, as they should, because if you're going to go make some stupid error and go run off and go join an indoor soccer league, then yeah, I would go move on and be like, yeah, you're done. Get
Well,
out of here.
it's part of their player agreement. They're not allowed to play in any other leagues.
Yeah.
It's a it's a risk to the club if he gets injured outside of team playing and practice. So, um,
Because if they were allowed to, then you'd be seeing every RSL player, every MLS player be like gonna go run to an indoor soccer league and go
yeah,
tear it up.
maybe not like first team players, but definitely players that are seeing the bench, seeing second team bench minutes. I don't know, but yeah, you'd see some players go out and try to find some playing time somewhere. But all in all, this guy, I still can't get over the fact that he used a different name. I mean, for obvious reasons, he used a different name, but I still can't get over the fact that he used a different name to even do all this stuff. So,
Right.
um, yeah, this guy definitely
I
deserves to have his
I think
contract
that's the
terminated.
first time that I've heard of this happening in MLS because I think I've heard of it in the past, but I don't think I remember somebody changing their name.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else has that information. That'd be kind of fun to know if there's been any other incidents like this because I can't. I personally don't know of any other incidents of where a professional player plays in an amateur league. I don't know.
Yeah, they're desperate to get playing time. Give the man some minutes.
Well, not anymore. He's
Not
gonna be
anymore.
he's gonna be sitting at his apartment now.
Yeah, tough times. But
Speaking
let's
of
get to
speaking of tough times,
yeah, yeah. Woof. Yes, Saturday was something else. So besides Messi and Miami losing, everything that needed to not happen happened to RSL. Speaking of the other teams, like Vancouver won in their matchup, Dallas and Seattle tied, and then you have Houston that tied. But then the worst of it all, I think Sporting Kansas City beating Minnesota, which makes them one step closer to getting to RSL.
but they're still outside of the playoffs.
But still, that's 3 points. That's closer to getting up there.
Yeah, so we have Sporting that won. Um, the Dynamo tied, which
Mhm.
they should have won that game.
Yeah.
Um, Vancouver won. LAFC won.
Dallas should have won their game,
Dallas should have won their game.
which
Um,
which we'll get into more later on.
yeah, and obviously, obviously San Jose won their game. Um,
Well,
and so all these results killed like RSL's. mm, they didn't even have a mojo at this point.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you saying momentum? I was like, what momentum are you talking about?
Yeah, what's this? I started speaking. I was like,
No, but
no.
so if you guys saw our tweet, so prior to the beginning of this weekend, we were sitting in 4th place. So sitting decent, we would have home field advantage. But with everything that happened, we dropped to 6th place, which is not looking ideal.
Well, and when we talked about these three games before the LAFC game, um,
Mhm.
do you remember the magic number? I said the amount of points that we needed in order to make sure we still move forward.
You said out of those 3 games,
Yeah, out of those three games, what was the minimum amount of points that we needed?
like 7,
No, I said five.
5. Yeah,
Thanks,
that
thanks, thanks for paying attention.
no, that does seem pretty realistic.
But I mean, if you do the math, any combo of five would have been a win and two draws.
Mhm.
Now,
Now
since
it's
we have
2 wins.
now we need two wins in order to like keep up with the pace that we need because at this point we're needing to almost win out in order to stay above the what do you call it, the home advantage spots.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would be happy with any position right now in the table, but not 8th or ninth, because 8th and ninth have to do that little play-in game to then play the 1 seed.
Yeah, and right now, before we get into the stand, let's talk about the standings afterwards. Let's get into this game first,
Absolutely.
because this game was super frustrating.
Oh, like every game has been as of recently. So let's start off with our lineup, which was a confusing odd lineup, I guess you want to call it.
Eh,
So it's
I wasn't confused.
you call it, you think it's a very typical Pablo lineup?
Um, I'll say that it's not like a typical lineup, but we're doing almost the same lineup as we did the last game.
I Yeah, I agree, but there are a few changes where I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, this player could have been a better replacement. So we on our defense, we have Oviedo playing that left spot, but the biggest surprise was we have Brody playing in that. Sorry, we have Oviedo playing the left back, and then Brody playing in the right back, which Brody is normally the left back. Anelli should have been playing right there on that right back instead.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but he, I think Pablo must have seen something in the game against Colorado that gave him the confidence to do the Oviedo Brody outside backs again. Because,
Possibly.
and I have a hard time with that one too, because the game against Colorado wasn't really like whoa, we totally dominated them either.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's not that it shouldn't be that hard to beat the last place team in the league,
I hope not.
and yet it was only 2-0. And it wasn't like a dominant performance either.
Mhm.
So that's just worrying. So I'm not sure what Pablo is seeing.
Yeah.
Um, in this game, um, from the ratings, the ratings that FOTMob gives us, we have Oviedo on the left that got a 6.5. Yeah, but Brody got a 7.4, which apparently he did well. I'm, I mean, we we can we can talk about that in a little in a second, but let's go through the rest of the lineup.
Yeah, so no surprises in the midfield. It's our same kind of midfield. And then the shocker was we see Rubin who gets the start. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Pablo saw that he got starts with Guatemala for Nations League, but I honestly would have been more satisfied to see the likes of Anderson Julio up top with Chicho.
I'll tell you why not. Um,
Okay.
and I think there's a lot of people that'll agree with this statement. Um, Anderson Julio has legs for 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree. Like, if you're to have him go 50 plus minutes, then he's gonna get tired real fast. But we haven't really seen much from Rubio Rubin when it comes to finishing those chances.
Well, when we get into this first half, I'm gonna say my piece here because there's something there. But
Okay.
um, well, let's just get into this game because
Yeah.
there's some points that we want to touch on that hurt the team. There's some players that you're like, what the heck is going on? Let's get into it.
Yeah, so literally, I ready to say get into it. San Jose already got into it 2 minutes into the game, and a very, very bad giveaway, and Obobisi does what Obobisi does and notches another one from an assist from Espinoza.
Where do you think the issue lies on that first goal?
I would have to say it's 100% Nelson.
100%?
Nelson. It was mainly, not, it was mainly Nelson because he got caught
Where
ball watching. He got
where
caught
does
ball
the
watching.
where does the turnover start? Do you
It was
remember?
on. It was on that right. It was on the right side. On
Who?
it was
Who?
Brody. It was Brody.
Now, do you know why? It's a
Was
combination of two things. Read my mind.
I want to say wasn't it? It was a bad pass.
Not a bad pass. I attribute it to how I saw it was bad first touch because when he
Mhm.
touched it, it went away from him.
For sure.
Second, field condition. He slipped.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was that was not ideal.
Yeah, so he gets the ball taken away from him on that outside wing, and the first thing that the San Jose player does, he gets it out to Espinosa in the middle. That is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like right there, that killed us. Once Espinosa gets the ball, um, what what that caused was, um, I apologize. That is incorrect. um, San Jose player passes it to Obobise.
Yeah,
Obobise is then marked by Nelson. Nelson is kind of like zone marking him, kind of follows him.
yeah.
Obobise passes it to Espinosa. That's where the trouble lies because Vera steps out as a defender, a center defender. I can't say should because I think Ojeda should have been somewhere in that vicinity. I don't know where he was. I'll have to watch the
Yeah.
tape again. But um, Vera steps out, which then leaves that open gap behind him. That's
Hmm.
where Obobise runs into that gap. Nelson does not follow. He thinks Glad should have been sliding over. It was a miscommunication there, but yes, you can put the blame on Nelson at that point because he
Do
should
you
have been
th-
following him.
do you think a lot of it still has to do with Nelson still being new to the club, still getting used to the style of play?
Sure, we can attribute it to that. I think there is a lack of communication and a lack of knowing how teammates move because
Yeah.
I it looked to me that Nelson was waiting for Glad to slide. Seeing
Hmm.
he should have seen that Vera shifted up. Glad should have been sliding behind because Nelson was kind of floating in front of Glad. Glad
Yeah.
should have been that center back that slid over instead of Nelson diving in as a defensive mid, diving into Vera's spot. I
And
think
and we've been
that's the
and,
spot.
and we've been seeing that a lot in these past couple of games, where the team scores early within the first 10 minutes or so, and it all attributes to no communication. Nobody's talking in that midfield, especially right here with Nelson and Brian Vera, and they just get that easy wide open goal for Abobase.
Yeah, because you're looking at the Portland game. What minute was the first goal?
Um,
13th. I got you.
13th. I was like, what? It was
The
a couple weeks back.
the previous game, the second Houston game. When was their first goal?
I want to say that was an early one as well. That was within,
Ninth minute.
yeah, that was, yeah, ninth minute.
So the past couple of games we've been suffering from early goals.
Yeah,
The Open Cup game was just fine. We didn't have any early goals there. And same with the LAFC game. In fact, the
yeah.
LAFC game was 0-0 at halftime,
Hmm.
where we thought we were in it. So lately we've been giving up early goals. Um, but giving up goals in general has been an absolute theme. Um, in fact, if we count from the LAFC game, which was the start of our horrible streak, um, we've had, let's see, I'm going to count 10, 12, 14 goals against us since the LAFC game.
Whew. And how many have we scored since that time?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So we're 5 for 14.
Yeah. So that's rough. And speaking of rough, let's talk about the second goal
Oh,
for San Jose. Oh, go
before
ahead.
before you get into the second goal, 2 minutes before that, we see Brian Vera get a yellow card, which means yellow card accumulation. So he'll miss Wednesday's game against Dallas.
I'm glad you remember that. I did write that down in my notes, but I'm glad you remembered. um, yeah, that's a for me huge loss. Um,
Hmm.
in fact, let's just get into it. About Vera's behavior.
Yeah.
We've seen a kind of extreme behavior lately.
Hmm. We saw it in the Houston game in Open Cup where he had looked like he was going to throw punches and his anger was getting much of him, then got shown that red card, and it seems like it's been ever since that time, it's been a little excessive by him.
Okay, so do you prefer to have someone that's and shoot? Someone's gonna shoot me for this one. Would you rather prefer someone submissive-ish like Glad, or do you prefer someone aggressive like Vera slash Silva is even like that? Which one do you prefer as a defender?
I would rather have someone happy medium, which is like
Of
Silva.
course, but I mean, we have the extremes right now. We don't have solid defenders. We have weak
No,
and submissive or overly aggressive.
I'd rather have somebody like Glad who's weak and submissive because yes, I like somebody who is that junkyard dog that they're willing to fight for our defense to get a clean sheet, hopefully for every game. But that obviously comes with its consequences with cards, and you don't see Glad accumulating that many cards. So he's very mellow. Nothing comes of it.
And this is why I beat you on FIFA all the time. But listen to this. But yes, you're talking about yellow card accumulations. But on the other side, you're also talking about a lot of own goals. I mean,
So
am I wrong?
no, you're not wrong. But if you look at both sides of it, they come with consequences. You have the own goal side, and then you have the yellow card accumulation, where game after game, it just seems like, oh, here's another yellow card for Valor, and then something else happens.
So the only defender I can think of off the top of my head that was like the perfect medium defender for us in our RSL history. Read my mind.
Borchers.
Yes. Oh, we're brothers. Oh my goodness. I'm
I
so
love it.
glad you're
No,
my brother.
no, it's true. Like when we had Borchers, like you remember how well he was um when we no, he wasn't with us in last cup.
Yeah, he was
Um oh he was.
in
No,
both of them.
in both of them. My mom was like, "What?"
Huh?
No, but he was a brick wall and he was just very mellow and just he held his own.
But now, and you're probably gonna guess this right off the bat. Who does Vera remind you of then? Of
Oh, Olave.
re-
Olave.
Olave. Olave was the kind of reckless, like bulldozer guy, which everyone loved. Now I
Yeah.
don't get why everyone starts thinking like that Vera is such a liability. Well, we have own goal Glad, we have Monarchs Brody, we have Old Man Oviedo. I mean, guys, the Vera for me is one of our best defenders right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
what if you don't like the fight in him? I mean, I'm not going to promote like fighting aggressive like kill people defending, but at some point we need to show personality.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. We can't just be sitting back and just lackadaisically just watching team just be scoring these early goals every single match because it's gonna come to haunt us.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Let
um
I was gonna say let's jump over to the next goal for San Jose. So literally 2 minutes after Brian Vera is shown his yellow card, which punches us in the face because he'll be out the next game. We see another goal by San Jose in the 15th minute, scored by Rodriguez, assisted once again by Christian Espinoza.
by the way, Rodriguez is Brazilian, so it'll be Rodriguez.
It's a good thing I don't speak Portuguese.
Exactly. Neither do I. But and
No
here
follow Portuguese.
no follow Portuguese. No. No. I don't know, whatever. Um no, I mean you speak something of Spanish. I speak Spanish. No falar Portuguese. Um anyways, this is another case of field conditions because who slips on this one now?
I'm trying to go back into my memory.
See, I remember this stuff.
It was one of our center backs, wasn't it?
Nope. It's one of our midfielders. That's
Tell
it.
me.
There
I was
was
like,
just too much silence.
I was gonna say, last guess I'm gonna say, was it Luna?
Yes, it was. All
It
right.
was Luna because
So
like I was debating. It was like it was either Luna or Oviedo because both of them are playing right there on that left side.
yeah, so it was Luna. So the ball got cleared out to a San Jose player who then put it back towards Luna Espinosa. When
Yeah.
Luna went to go chase for it, he slips, and
Hmm.
that's how it ends up on Espinosa's foot. He does a little move, hits it with the left foot, and Rodriguez really it was like Chicho's goal that Vera assisted against Portland, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, weird, Chicho scored that. Um, yeah, that was one of those a slight touch,
And
and
and what's
yeah,
really sad slash embarrassing, that was his very first goal this season.
well, he's a center back too.
But still, it's always worse when your first goal comes against us.
Do you know what I didn't like about the Apple TV broadcast? First off,
The commentators, the
I was not a,
commentators.
I was not a huge fan of the commentators. Oh my goodness! But the one comment about this goal that really bugged me was the commentator. She said that Glad was totally out of position. He should have been on the goal side. And I'm
I do
like,
remember that.
I mean, I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, okay, he's on the defender. Sorry, he's on the San Jose guy's left side, which would be the goal side.
Hmm.
Yes, he's slightly like the what do you call it? The San Jose player's shoulder was in front of him, but he was goal side. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say that it was a bad analysis, but my friend, I think the commentator just threw that out just to say something because
I was like, do a double take and then check again.
there were some comments in that game. I swear, I was rubbing my temples the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh! And the only reason I watched it in English, by the way, guys, I only watch these games in Spanish because those are some really good commentators. The only reason I watched it in English because I don't know if you've had this happen or anyone else, but all of a sudden it says like it'll show an error on my screen. And
Hmm.
it says
Yeah,
connection like not working, something like that, connection error. And I'm like, my Wi-Fi is working. Apple TV's on drugs.
it can be. And I'm with you. I only watch it in Spanish just because of the commentators. The only very few times I'll watch it in English is whoever is calling the game for RSL, if I like that commentator, which is very few times.
Donnie, Donnie, Donnie.
Facts, facts. Which we'll get to it later. He is actually on the call for Wednesday's game.
Ooh,
But
that's really good.
but right before halftime, 44th minute, we get our little goal back into this match.
All right, here's my Rubio Rubin plug. Um,
Give it to me. Let's hear it.
so um, we have a cross from Savarino.
Yeah, we do.
Um, yeah, we do, and Rubio is the one that heads it. He's the one that hits it off the crossbar. Um, all I'm saying is that without Rubio doing what he had to do there would be no goal.
Yeah.
Just saying that was probably Rubio's saving grace of the game. That's it. That was my only plug, by the way.
So are you saying that it was a good idea for Pablo to start Rubin in this match?
Do you think Julio would have done that? Do you think Krylock would have even been up there at that point?
I don't know if by the 44th minute if Julio would have still been running.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the kind of position we're in right now. So, um, yes, I'm gonna say thank you, Rubio, for being in that position, and doing what you had to do. Because if not, Chicho would not have gotten that goal.
Yeah, yeah. So going to halftime, down 2-1. How are you feeling at that point? Did you think that we had a chance? Did you think it was just kind of game over?
No, so here's the thing. At about the 20th minute is when RSL decided, hey, we're gonna start playing. Hey, minute one in minute 20. Um, so
So
what?
we're here to play.
So when we hit the 20th minute, that's when the tides turn. That's when RSL's like, okay, wake up, let's do this. In fact, for those first 20 minutes, it was just all San Jose. It was like
Yeah.
literally we were asleep. Um, but ending that half by scoring a goal, everyone knows whether you are new to soccer or you've been in it for your whole life. You know that getting a goal right before halftime is a momentum shifter,
Oh
especially
yeah,
if you're down.
100%. I When we were down 2-0, I was feeling, nope, it's not happening. San Jose might score one or two more goals, but with that goal right before halftime, I was flip my switch, and I was very optimistic because you look at the first half stats, we had all the possession, 51-49, slightly more passes for us for 219 to their 214, and then pretty, we had a lot more shots, 13 shots for us to their 11 shots.
So Um, here's a little trick of mine. When the past couple times when we've been down 2-0, there's only one thought that goes through my head. When you're down 2-0, what At least read my mind again. We're brothers. um, I mean, what do you think of when you're down 2-0?
Who?
What is 2-0?
Oh, it's the worst scoreline in soccer.
It's the most vulnerable scoreline.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my mentality. If I'm already down 2-0, if I score one, I can shift momentum at that
Hmm.
point because the other team is now like, oh crap, gotta defend this lead. They'll go into defensive mode, which opens the door to be more offensive.
Absolutely.
So
It's
that
it's
was my mindset going into halftime.
yeah. It's it's a very dangerous lead, and I kind of felt that way as well. I was like, we might have this momentum going into the second half to see where it can switch us, but that's what kind of happened because you look at the possession and all of that, and we had that right away from the get go with the passing, with the shots, with the chances, and nothing was happening really early in that second half.
Well, let me tell you this as a summary of the whole second half, because obviously there was no goals. The second half was a lot of possession, not a
Mhm.
lot of shots, whereas the first half was not as
Like,
much possession but more shots. In fact, double the
mhm.
shots,
Yeah,
which is a little bit worrying because if we're not getting these shots that we need, especially when we're supposed to be having all this momentum. In fact, we had the momentum, we had the possession. Where are the shots? Um, we even had substitutions, offensive substitutions that were supposed to help us with Gomez and Julio
yeah.
coming
I
in.
was I was about to get onto that. I think the one that kind of surprised me, um, I was gonna say, well, but not both of them didn't surprise me, but we saw later on. We'll get to it. We had Chicho come out, but I was hoping Chicho was gonna just play that full 90 because we needed that goal.
But well, I'm just going to touch on it now. Apparently, in the we saw when he came out that he was holding on to his hip or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's true.
Um, in the Hablo con Pablo segment of RSL, you could hear Pablo ask him, "Hey, did you get hit or are you hurt or something like that, something to that effect?" And he says, "No, I just got hit and it just feels weird."
Yeah,
So it was one of those that just got a knock.
yeah,
That's what it seemed like. I hope it's just a knock, and it's most likely just going to be a knock. But the player that they didn't surprise me with how blah they played. Um, but I'm glad that they got subbed off was Luna.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I was gonna agree. Like I was watching the game at Kaye. Shout out to Kaye for hosting everybody. And everybody at Kaye agreed. Luna was very MIA in this match. He didn't really have a lot to show for himself. You look at his stats, he did pretty decent on his passing, 25 or 27 for 93%, but zero shots at all. No chances.
he's been MIA for the past month, in my
I don't know.
opinion.
I don't know if it's the fact that they just had a kid, if he's more focused on that, but
Look, we already went over this, and I don't want to go over it again. But having kids takes it out on you. And I can imagine him if he's traveling, he's thinking about kid, wife, how they're doing, etc. But ever since the LAFC game, he's only gone one game for the full 90.
mhm,
Um, and only one game has he gotten over a 7 point rating,
yeah.
which is not too good per se. In fact,
Mm-mm.
if we go back to the LAFC game, he had 22 minutes, 6.8 rating. First Houston game, 45 minutes, 6.2. Next Houston game, 30 minutes, 6.5. Portland was his best game. He went the full 90 and got a 7.9.
Yeah,
But these past two games against the Rapids, 14 minutes, 6.5. Then San Jose, 64 minutes, 6.1. Um, there's something funky going on with Luna and in his I can't say motivation because they're really motivated to play,
yeah.
but there's something going on that's not allowing him to perform to his expected level, and that's he's not the only one. I think Gomez is definitely another one, and there might be a couple of others that are not living up to their expectations. In fact, because I had so many comments around this, at halftime, I threw out a tweet that apparently got a little bit of attention. Um, I'm not going to say it blew up, but it got some attention. Um, my tweet was this was before we scored our goal. I had already
Mhm.
set this up. So I was like, I'm going to send it at halftime. Boom. I said, players that I question their first team playing abilities and status. Brody and Rubin. I question their first team status, to be honest. Players who are underperforming. Sava, Luna, Ojeda, Palacio, Glad, Vera. Players who are par. They're like, okay, this is the minimum that we expect from you. Chicho, McMath, Oviedo. They were doing the minimum.
So pretty much our whole 11, you guys are just average.
Well, and so that's what that's why I started getting comments like some people were saying Brody's been below average for a long time. I'm surprised this conversation hasn't been brought up sooner. But you know me, I've brought up Brody for a while saying Monarch players are not ready to play on the first team. A lot of them are not ready. Hence why we send off Orozco, hence why we send off other people to
No,
play in other leagues.
except if your name is Justin Glad. That's the only exception.
Even then, when he first started playing on the first team, he was kind of um. Someone else put so basically no one is good. um, another one said I would say Savaluna Ojeda are all doing more than underperforming. And on a good day, Palacio will do better than most of the rest of the team. Luna is our single best player on the field every single week, which I said, I'm out, my friend. Totally disagree.
I was like, I'm confused.
And then someone said, throw in Demir to those who are underperforming, which is probably true. So there's a lot of feelings going around with how players were performing.
Yeah, and with that, all those players and all that, let's get into like a conversation we had last episode, but it kind of ties into this one right here. The whole Musovski. So he's been kind of MIA, not with a team, not traveling for these away games. Do you find that being a big issue with us not being able to find the back of the net? Because we saw with Moose and Chicho up top, they're doing well. They're dynamic. Their partnership, their communication was over the top.
I'm gonna separate Moose and Chicho for a second. Moose before Chicho appeared was getting into a mojo, getting into a he's going to be one of our top offensive performers.
Agreed.
Um, Currently, he sits tied up top for the goal plus assist combo.
Yeah.
Um, so he's one of our top goal contributors, either scoring or assisting. Right now, it is killing us, I think, not having him on the field. Um, it sucks that he and his agent have put themselves in a position to say, you know what, I deserve more. In fact, I'm going to hold you guys basically hostage, saying, give me more, or you guys are going to keep sucking. That's what it feels like.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's in a position to do that kind of move. Granted, I understand where he's coming from. I really do. I mean, we've all been in jobs where we're like, I deserve more. And so normally you would go and bargain, but you keep working. Um, I think Moose still had a lot to prove these next couple weeks. This stretch should have been our easiest stretch. We should have. I I I don't know what got into his head. End of July, beginning of August. That's when the kind of the downhill started. But the
Mhm.
Houston games should have been wins. Portland game should have been a win. Colorado should have been a blowout. San Jose game should have been an easy win or at least a tie at minimum.
Yeah.
That stuff could have happened with Moose on the field.
Yeah. So I 100% agree with you. I think it's ever since that injury with Pablo, with our midfield, and now with Moose, everybody just coming out with just a weird dynamic in the locker room, and then there's just no real chemistry that we saw beforehand.
I and I hate to say this, but it is a selfish move. Because
Yeah.
he knows that this is his last, it's going to be his last big contract if they give him a long-term contract,
Hmm.
because no team wants a average-ish striker that runs around 100 to 300,000 per
Yeah.
year, that doesn't put in double-digit goals, and at the age of, he's going to be turning 28 years old. Sorry, Marcos, I know you're 28, but no one wants you at that age if you're not producing a lot.
Yeah. I I agree. Like you're getting to a point where you're past your peak in your soccer career and you're looking for those young players who are up and coming who can score goals and he's kind of feels like he's dwindling away kind of past that peak. So if I hope RSL makes that decision sooner rather than later because you have RSL fans who want answers, who want it now because we don't want to be waiting to if we're on decision day or about to make it into the playoffs and still no Moose because we need that goal scorer up top because Chicho, he likes scoring goals, but he can't be doing this all by himself.
And I think that's what's killing me too, is that there's a lot of expectation on Chicho to go out and score goals, but he can't do it unless he's getting support, which Ruiz was the support.
Yeah.
Moose was the support. And because Ruiz was there, he was able, everyone else felt like, I felt that elevated everyone else's game. Sava was playing good, Luna was playing good, or Gomez, whoever was on the field. I think everyone's game was elevated. Ojeda looked like a totally different player. I mean, with Ruiz and Ojeda, they were like dynamic duo.
We had a
Now you
Batman
have
and Robin.
now you have Ojeda and Palacio, and it's like, what the heck happened to Ojeda?
Yeah, because right now it just seems like our only real scores on the field are just Sava and Chicho. Everybody else is just every game, just very MIA, just very ho humish with their passing and their dynamic.
Even then, with Sava, Sava's last goal. Do you even know when Sava's last goal was?
He didn't score against Colorado. Um, he didn't score in any of the Houston games.
You have to go back
Uh,
to July 22nd was Sava's last goal.
so prior, what was that? Was that Leagues Cup?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was first game of Leagues Cup, and before that, he had scored the previous 2 weeks too. So he had scored 3 weeks in a row. Um, his last assist was the first Houston game.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, it's literally the Chicho show.
Speaking of which, we're also hearing complaints from RSL Nation. Sorry, guys, we're gonna just talk about your guys' complaints. Um, that, oh, Sava finally traveled with the team,
Like,
guys.
are you guys watching the same team?
Like, I understand that we're frustrated from certain games that Sava doesn't travel. I'm
Yeah.
sure we're all suffering from PTSD where he didn't travel for like 3 straight games back in May. But if you guys really want to count, since the beginning of July,
Hmm.
we've had, um, the following away games: Toronto, see, Orlando, no, Red Bulls, no, LAFC,
Hmm.
Houston, um, Portland,
And then San
and,
Jose.
and San Jose. So we've had five. Okay, so Sava did not play in the Portland one. And I feel like I missed one. You're gonna have to help me out.
I think it was
Oh, Sporting.
Sporting. That's right.
So there are six. There are six. So six. So out of the six away games, he didn't play against Sporting and he didn't play against Portland. He played in the other four away matches.
Yeah.
And
So
Sporting Portland weren't two away games together, by the way.
no. So people who are going out and complaining that Saba doesn't travel with the team and all this, you guys like go back and look back at the other games because yes, he has been playing with the team on these away games.
I mean, like, again, I'm gonna say this very, very carefully that the the Colorado game, the Open Cup match, he didn't play. That's where Yakusin played.
Yeah,
Um, but he played in the following, or I mixed him up. Sorry, I mixed him up. It was he didn't play against Colorado in the league game, but he played against Colorado in the Open Cup game, which he was the lone goal scorer of that one.
yeah,
So he traveled half there. Um, and I'm like going way back. When was this? May 27th at Minnesota. He traveled and he scored.
uh-huh.
Um, let's see. At Austin, he did not travel. After Austin, the following one was against DC. Um, DC, he was not there. So that's two away games in a row right there. Um, and the one after that was against St. Louis, and he was not there either. So we had a stretch right there, which I think there was I think a child being born or family issues at that time.
That's true.
And
That's
and
true.
those are quote unquote rumors slash I think there might have been lingering stuff from previous months that from what I remember. Either way, currently in the past 2 months of games, Sava's only missed two away games.
Yeah, he's only got his two away games, so I don't know where people are getting these rumors or or circling around, but he's been here. He's been on the road with the team, so
Yeah, so that's just a sorry, that was a lot of pent up frustration. I really believe Sava is one of our best players.
oh yeah, absolutely. I he is what holds our midfield together because no Saba, there's nobody to literally orchestrate that midfield because there's no Ruiz right now.
Right now, that's completely true. So
So with that little rant that you went on, let's dive into some questions that everybody posted on X.
yeah, that's true. Let me get into some of these comments here. So at the end of the game, we as always we always post the stats. So there was a couple of comments that we want to just go over. So Riot Brigade, they they're a hoot. They said forgot that that the game actually starts at kickoff and not 40 minutes later.
Thank you, right, Brigade. I we'll pass the word on to Pablo so he's aware for the next game.
And so just as a reminder, the question was, what was the biggest problem? Um, Next, we have MLS Collectors said, look decent outside of the first 15 minutes and the last 10. So they think that between minute 15 and minute 80, we looked pretty decent, which that's
I I
fine.
I agree. Yeah,
I can't say I disagree. I think it was good from 20 to the end, but we're fine. Uh,
yeah.
Hector Ambris, he says the coaching. I've been saying this for some time. Everything starts with bad lineups and very predictable tactics.
Yeah,
Predictable tactics, yes. I can't say these are bad lineups because the best lineups we have.
the only thing that I would change, and I've said it over and over, is I want a diamond formation because I don't see the point at all for us to be doing two defensive backs. So I would have Ojeda playing in that bottom of the diamond with Sava and Luna on the wings.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm mixed. I have mixed feelings with that. I think the only thing I would change in the lineup is the Oviedo and Brody situation. Definitely get Anelli in there.
Oh yeah, because
I just don't know whether to put in Brody or Oviedo.
just Anelli can bring that speed that Oviedo and Brody really can't. So the only thing that Oviedo brings is just his experience on the back line.
Which I think I'd lean more towards that
Than speed.
Brody than Brody.
Oh yeah.
But we'll get into that. There's another comment around that topic. My info or at Angemoon My says totally agree. Bad coaching and bad tactics. The guys play with absolutely no urgency. It's been that way all year. With Ruiz gone, try something different. So I can't say it's lack of urgency. Um, I think right now it's a lack of confidence which
Yeah.
then would then converts to um, hesitation, which looks like lack of urgency, but it's hesitation for me.
See, that's why in this, I guess the last game, the Colorado game when we won, I got this burst of excitement because I knew that if we win, then this motivation that this team can do better. But we just didn't see that in this last game against San Jose.
Yeah. Next one from Tyler Hampton or at Culture DM OLD. I think it's cultured mold, but the O is a zero. Nice.
Mm.
That's nice. Says we were objectively the better team outside the first 30 minutes and let in nearly every relevant statistic. It looks like the players just decided to dick around for the first third of the match.
It definitely did seem like that, Tyler.
Well, I mean, it's like what we talked about. The first 15, 20 minutes, they just weren't there. I mean, to have 2 goals scored in 15 minutes, heck, even in the Hablo con Pablo, Pablo's like, he turns to his coaching staff. He's like, really? The first 15 minutes?
Again, here we go.
I mean, but I guess I have an issue with how come in the he probably yells a lot more things, but in the Hablo con Pablo, he always like, yes, 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 go, 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 bien, bien, bien. You're like, do you yell other instructions besides just one word repeated?
It definitely does seem that way when I have watched those. I'm like, is there actually coaching happening?
Up, 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 go, go, go. You're like,
It sounds like if I'm teaching your kids how to play FIFA using the controls.
that's what it kind of sounds like. Um, the last one on this tweet was from Patrick Hunt at Hunt Pa 93 says sometimes it really is about how you start. And really,
Man,
yes.
you can't say that's nicely said. Like, kudos to them.
Yep. But not to make light of what they said, but kind of stating the obvious. I mean, it really is how you start off. Because
Yeah,
if you're not starting off firing, you're gonna be trampled on.
yeah,
Last couple comments. Um, One from Jaden Sylvester at L Finisher 23. That's a good handle. Good handle, Jaden.
yeah. I mean, that's
Um,
a solid one.
I haven't been on the Pablo out train during this slump, but I'm starting to maybe hop on the train. Eek.
Nope, nope.
Dude's not trying anything different. What does he expect to happen? Move Luna into the Ruiz role and start Gomez on the wing. Also, I don't know about Vera and Brody. Maybe try Silva and Ellie?
No, 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 no. First and foremost, he needs to realize. No, no, pause right there. He needs to realize we need to stop with the Pablo out because yes, we might be in the mindset that we want to get rid of Pablo, but it all starts with the players. If they don't have the urgency and the desire to want to win and score those goals, then we're not going to. But no, enough with the Pablo out. It's not
I,
because of him.
all right, fine. I'm gonna validate Jaden's feelings here. Okay,
Okay, okay,
I can understand Pablo out
for
because
sure.
um we've been playing similar lineups for a long time. At what point does it turn from player problems to coaching tactic problems? Because we know how some of these teams play. We know that you needed to keep an eye on Cal, Mbabase, and Espinoza. What
Hmm.
happened? Espinoza gets the ball, Megs Vera to Mbabase, who scores. What
Yeah.
happened on the second? Ball goes out to Espinoza, dangerous cross. I mean, there are certain things that you're like, those things need to be happening from minute one. Why weren't they emphasized? And if they were communicated, apparently it didn't stick to the players. So that means it must not have been like that. It wasn't solid.
Nothing, nothing sticking at all when it comes to the communication.
So then does it become a Pablo problem? I mean, granted, I'm gonna say this before you comment. The way the team's going right now and the results and how where the team sits, it's super unlikely that he's going to be taken
No,
out of that coaching position.
for me, I would kind of same thing with the Musovski. I would let the season play out and then come back at the end of the season, go from there with the and then make a decision.
I think we're fine. Pablo out is not going to happen, but I can understand where Jaden is coming from because it's super frustrating. If he's telling the player something, it's not sticking. So does that mean it's a player problem or a Pablo problem? I'll leave that up to you guys.
Like, obviously, if we're as bad as Colorado or Portland or LA Galaxy, then we should start panicking and then say Pablo out.
Yeah. Look, if we lose out and we either make the last playoff spot or we don't make the playoffs because we lose out, that's
Then
yeah. If we lose out, it's a Pablo issue. Last comment. Carson.
love you, Carson.
Carson. Um, he says, talk about Brody, LOL. And what should we do with him? Carson, why you put us in a horrible spot right now?
Does Carson hate us?
Um, all right, here's the thing, because obviously we answered him with a GIF like, um,
It
here's
might
the
have
thing.
say our gift game on point sometimes.
Sometimes, all the time. I make sure our GIF game is on point. um, okay, Brody. Here's the thing. Brody is a hard worker. He got to where he's at because he is a hard worker.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna try to keep this as PC as possible. Brody doesn't have a lot of ball skills. So when he gets the ball, I get worried. And the only thing that I think he does right is his runs down the wing, gets the ball, crosses him. Defensively, I get nervous because of his ball skills and because of his situational awareness. It seems like when he gets the ball, he the first, one of the things that they teach you in youth soccer is think where you're going to pass the ball before you receive the ball.
absolutely.
I feel like that he doesn't think ahead.
Yeah, I remember it was during the off season when we got rid of Aaron Herrera, and we kept Brody. I was hoping we would do the opposite: get rid of Brody and keep Aaron Herrera. Because you remember last season, Aaron Herrera absolutely tore it up. He had 9, 10 assists as being just a left back, and he was fantastic. And I was hoping that's what Brody was going to turn into, but he hasn't really shown that.
But so here's the thing. Um, I've I've refereed I refereed many years the Monarchs, like 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
I saw Brody play in those games. I still wasn't convinced at the Monarchs level. I think that Brody was put into this position for budget reasons.
Yeah,
I think at that moment when we brought him up and signed him onto the first team, which was like what 2018, 19. It was a
that was,
while back,
that was a
but
couple years
we
back.
yeah, so he was still playing Monarch minutes.
Yeah.
But I think it was a let's try to um get this guy some good minutes. Let's get him trained so that way he can go in the first team. And I think it was to save money. I think we didn't want to put that much money into defenders.
Yeah. So hopefully something changes with him, with his mentality, with his work effort moving forward. But we just haven't seen much of it so far this season. So
I mean, work effort is there. Like however you said it, work effort is there. It's talent to be at the next level, like a good defender. He's an average defender for me.
it's just getting beat on balls when we played LAFC against Bowanga and getting beat by Espinoza and Abobase. It's like you can't be getting beat game after game by the same kind of play.
Well, like I said, that's what we get for going with budget and going with average defenders instead of actually investing.
Yeah. But thank you guys for those questions. We love diving deep into you guys' questions. So always don't hesitate on sending those over every after every game or whenever. But before we get into our next game, let's give a shout out to the referee on for Saturday's game, Natalie Simon. That was her first ever MLS game. She did pretty decent. Not gonna lie.
segment for Alan to criticize the referee. No, um, the only thing that I think would be if I could criticize anything would be that first half. First half looked shaky, but I think it's because of the nerves.
Oh, absolutely.
I think personally, Vera's yellow card didn't need to be a yellow card. I think it could have been man managed, but each referee to their personality.
But
But
obviously,
she
some way or another, Vera would have found that yellow card.
probably I won't go against. But second half she did feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah,
In fact, let me just because I don't know why I didn't look at this. Oh yeah, here we go. So our total foul counts was 15 for us and 6 for San Jose, which it did feel like we were getting a little bit shafted there, but it was only the first half. Again, the nerves. There was 10 fouls called against us in the first
yeah,
half. So I think her nerves trying to make sure the game was under control. Second half, it was 3 fouls to 5 fouls. That's when
yeah,
you know she got into a rhythm. So good on her. It was a good game.
yeah. Hopefully, this is the beginning of more female center referees in the MLS because right now we've only had two, I believe. So hopefully, more to come.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting, but good job, Natalie.
Good job, Natalie. But with that, we have a home game on Wednesday. And back at home at the Riots Wednesday night against FC Dallas, who is just coming off a 1-1 draw on Saturday to Seattle Sounders. And they were winning. They're up a majority of the whole game, but Seattle scored late in that one.
Yes. So um Dallas, we've already seen him once this season. You remember?
Hmm. Yeah.
In fact,
And
that was the game after our first win after breaking the other long losing streak.
mhm.
In fact, I tweeted out. Did I tweet it out or did we quote unquote tweet it out? And I sometimes forget what's tweeted out now. Oh yeah, it was a we. It was a we tweet. Um, I'll call it a we tweet. There we go. Um, so the last time we were on this bad streak back at the
Yeah,
beginning of the season,
for sure.
we had the same exact pattern. By the way, I love patterns. I think I'm a little Rain Man when it comes to that.
You
Um,
love patterns and stats. Those are your best friend.
yes. So um, the last time we were on this streak was we won our very first game, 4 game losing streak, win one game, lose another game. The following was a win. So right now, currently we are on a win against Leon, lose 4, win, lose. According to the pattern, this
We
next game should be a win.
will win our next two games.
Was it the next two?
I think it was 2 wins, and then the next one, and then the next one after that is a draw.
Oh yeah, so it was 2 wins. So because we beat the Las Vegas Lights,
Uh-huh.
and then it was 2 draws. So it technically would be LAFC and Kansas City would be the 2 draws. Then a win after that, which would be the LA Galaxy. But the end of that streak was a loss.
So you're saying that I don't
I'm
know.
I'm saying according to the pattern, we're going to lose to Colorado.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but we'll go with it. Sometimes history repeats itself.
This one looks like it's repeating itself. But here's the thing: in order to repeat itself, there's a couple of things that we need to look at. One good thing that's in our favor,
Mhm.
and I hate to say it's a good thing in our favor, but Paul Ariola in the game against Seattle did get injured. He got hammered. Um,
Yeah, injury is still undetermined. I don't think we know for certain what it is.
well, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if he got subbed out, it looked like he was limping pretty hard. It's probably just a little knock, but Paul Ariola did go off with an injury against Seattle. We also have a couple other players that we need to look out for.
Yeah, of course, is the most obvious one is Jesus. Jesus right now is tearing it up this season at 10 goals. The other one is the man who scored the goal for them against Seattle, Hadir O'Brien. He's at 3 goals, 2 assists for them in the midfield.
Those Colombians, you got to watch out for those Colombians.
I know they're cheeky.
They're cheeky. Um, yeah. So Paul Arriola had the assist for
Hmm.
O'Brien. But like you said, we had to look out for Ferreira. But how do they play? Do you remember how they played against us when we were in Dallas last time?
They're a very attack oriented team.
Direct,
Yeah.
very direct. Like if they will catch, they will catch you on the counter if they can.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Which is smart. And that does not benefit us at all because like I mentioned previously, we're gonna be without the likes of Vera. No Vera in this one, so it'll make sense that we're gonna have a Glad Silva in our back line.
Yeah. Um, but last time we played them, obviously we didn't have Chicho, and Moose didn't play. Now, I'm not saying Moose is gonna play. It would be great, but Chicho is gonna be playing. We won't have Ruiz, but we do. Ojeda didn't. He only played one half. He played the second half,
Hmm.
and so that was the half that we scored on, too. So the idea, I think, is oh, and by the way, that was I think Justin Merrim's last game, or maybe close to
It,
last
wa-
game, and he got
it was his last game and he got an assist. I do
and he
remember that.
got, he got an assist. So um
I think it was a few days later. That's when Charlotte came out and then they picked him up.
so we have no Ruiz, we have no Merrim. We're
And that
screwed.
and that was also the game where we started our three center backs. We had Vera, Silva, and Glad starting back there.
Oh, that's right. And it was Vera's fault, I think, on their
Uh-huh.
first goal because he got burned on the wing.
Yep, yep.
So, what are your keys to this match to help us not get burned? I mean, we only lost 2-1.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
true.
but but we did play well because that was the beginning of our good streak, remember?
Yeah, yeah. Something to also keep an eye on in this match is the last time FC Dallas won an away game was May 13th in Austin. So that was
You have got to be kidding me.
no, May 13th. That was their last time they won on the road. So that was nearly like what, like 3 months ago?
Oh
Are you
yeah,
go
what's I'm trying to make sure you're right. I'm like, holy crap, you're right.
Yeah, so Jesus Ferreira scored a late goal in the 89th minute to seal the win for them in Austin.
Also, maybe not a good thing for us. Um, Dallas has been somewhat on a, well, I can't say really good streak, but they've only lost one game in the past 2 months. Eh, Discounting the Inter Miami penalties. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to take away from that. They only lost one game in regulation. That was the one against St. Louis.
Yeah, so they have been looking pretty dangerous since mid-July. So that's something to keep an eye on as well.
So then your keys to this match, after stating all this, what do you think will give us the most success and give us a win?
Yeah, I would just be able to I would say watch Jesus and just to keep an eye on their attack because he has been dangerous for them and then as well as O'Brien. So if you keep an eye on those two players alone, then I think we might have a chance.
Looking at their stats for last game,
Yeah,
here's a couple of things that I'm learning. One, they make a lot of passes.
they do.
Two, they don't take a lot of shots. And they don't take a lot of shots probably because if you do not give them the defensive gaps, they won't have a chance to even get to the goal because they are banking on Jesus Ferreira making those runs.
Yeah,
That's their offense. Um, and if you can block that, then I think you're golden. Now, that's been a weak spot for RSL. So
for sure.
if RSL can clean that up for this game, um, actually, point number one, we're at home. Point number two, Dallas sucks away.
They are not good in altitude. But mind you, I say that, but last year when Dallas did come to Sandy, they did win here in Sandy.
But we also had different people. Just saying.
We did have different people.
Um, so besides those two obvious things that we're at home and Dallas has been sucking this season away, um, if we can stop the counter with Jesus Ferreira, we will have a chance to at least develop play from the back and push forward. Now, I don't know what kind of lineup we're gonna see.
I
We
was I was about I was about to get that. Obviously, we're gonna see the likes of Silva and Glad because that's the most obvious one. Are you going? Do you still see Oviedo and Brody playing on both sides?
hold the press here. Do you think we're gonna see a Glad Lambert?
I have been wanting Lambert ever since we picked him up from Phoenix because I was like, what's the point of giving this guy a shot from coming up from the USL if he's not going to get any minutes? Because he didn't travel with the team um, to San Jose. It's like let the man get some minutes, let him have his debut. So
I don't know what the current situation is with Lambert, but
yeah,
from what I understand, he's still available to play on the first team. They're
oh
not
absolutely.
they're not sending him down to the Monarchs to get some minutes. Like right now is when we need him to play.
Well,
But
this
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a Glad Silva.
yeah. So ideally, I would love to see Brody play on that back and Nelly on the right. And midfield, I most likely I see the same midfield. I don't see Pablo making any changes to our midfield.
Actually,
Um,
I don't find any issue with Palacio and Ojeda right now. I don't.
there's a few people that I heard that would rather see Loflison, but Loflison hasn't really impressed me when he's played with Ojeda.
Um, I'm gonna stick. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with me. Give me those two.
Yeah,
It's the wings that I'm unsure about. Because right now, if Rubin's not up to par playing,
mhm.
Julio is not up to par playing that many minutes, and Krylock or all is kind of in limbo. Would you change formation and play a Luna, Sava in the middle, Gomez with Chicho up top? So it'd be a 4-2-3-1.
Possibly, possibly.
Mm. But
It, it,
it's not
it,
gonna happen.
it could be a good option. It's something to think, ponder about, but obviously, yeah, it's not likely.
It ain't gonna happen. Um, but with that, because it's almost your bedtime, my friend.
No, 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 no. Let's get real. Let's get real.
But you know
The
what time it
the
is?
I do know what time it is, but it's the night's still very young, my friend.
Oh, it's
But
super young.
it's still young. But I do know what time it is. You know what time it is? It is prediction time.
Stop. All right, I got this one because I'm afraid you're gonna choose my prediction. So here we go.
Let's hear it.
We're at home. Dallas is horrible away. Um, we this is a basically do or die for home field advantage in playoffs. Also, Dallas needs this, so this is going to be an intense game. But I think with the way the fans are supporting right now at home, this is going to give us an advantage. Um, and that advantage is going to turn into 3 points, and we're going to win
Ooh.
2-0.
Ho, 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 ho. I like it. I like it. I like it. It's not bad. So back at home, like you said, Dallas has they've kind of been in a slump when it comes to them playing in altitude. I feel like we we are in a slump as well. So I this is going to be kind of a dogfight because if we don't get 4 points in these next two matches, 4 points or more, then it's going to be a tough road just to make it into the playoffs from here on out. So give me just a 1-0 defeat for RSL. It's going to be
Ooh,
it's gonna be
minimum.
it's gonna be clutch, but we're gonna come away just with that 1-0 victory.
That's good. That's good.
So we will take it. So like I said, 2 games, next 2 games at home at the Riot. If we get anything less than 3 points, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It is gonna be a tough battle just to I feel like just to sneak into the playoffs because you have teams that are like 8th, ninth that are literally just 3 points behind us.
Yeah. Yeah. Like right now, these next two games are crucial. We need 6 points.
And it doesn't help that you have Dallas, who we play on Wednesday, right below us, Vancouver, who we play coming up on Saturday, right above us. So it is a dog fight in the Wild West.
It is, and that's why they call it the Wild West.
So catch us Wednesday night back here at the right 7:30 kickoff midweek. Yes, it's the middle of the week. Yes, you guys probably have work, school the next day, but come out. What else are you doing on a Wednesday night? Come out, be loud. The boys need your support because we need 3 points to secure home field advantage for the playoffs that are coming up.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
And if you guys are not already, make sure you guys are following us on X, on Facebook, on Instagram at RSL Bros. And if you don't want to see my face or his face, then head to Apple, head to Spotify, and catch us on the go.
It's true. Catch us everywhere that you are. Oh man, it's been one. It's been one. Holy cow.
It's been one. So catch us next episode where we will break down Wednesday's game. But until then, catch you guys later.
Choo!
Peace.